I'm sorry, I'm actually not scared of Razer. It's just that I'm still trying to get over the fact that this company made an S my D joke on Twitter. I mean, yeah, it was stupid that Apple took out the SD card on the MacBook Pro. I just didn't know a popular company would make that kind of a joke on Twitter. So, let's just get to the video. Hey guys, Blood Moon Bobby here, and first of all, I'd just like to say you are a Razer fan and I just made your ass bleed because of that intro, I am sorry. If I could, I would provide you with some tissues to wipe your bleeding butthole. But jokes aside, Razer, who you may know for making thin but powerful gaming laptops, has come out with their first smartphone. And this is more than likely a result of their acquisition of the smartphone manufacturer Nextbit. This is the Razer Phone, and it is a powerful phone, obviously designed for gamers. You notice when you look at the design, it's got some pretty sharp-looking angles and pretty thick top and bottom bezels. It kind of looks like a more powerful version of the Nextbit Robin, so I guess that's kind of a result of acquiring the Nextbit Robin's manufacturer. The phone is going to look like a Nextbit Robin, but the guts inside are anything but that. So first of all, the probably one of the more interesting aspects of the Razer phone is going to be its screen. It has a 5.72-inch 2560 by 1440 IPS IGZO screen. And what does IGZO allow? It allows for super smooth refresh rates. The Razer phone has its display, I should say, can allow for 120 hertz refresh rates, meaning games can run at really high frame rates on this phone. Something interesting when you get the Razer phone is the phone will actually be at 120 hertz 60 hertz by default, but you can turn it to 120 hertz in settings, so it allows for some really high frame rates. As gamers may know, the higher frame rates you get in the game, the better, and of course, anything 60 frames per second or higher is nice, and these games Razer has said will work with the 120 hertz refresh rate. So there will be Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition, Gear Club, Lineage 2 Revolution, and many more that you can see on the screen. So that's probably one of the most interesting features about this phone. So it's got a really high refresh rate. Some may recognize it's very similar to the iPad Pro screen, which also allows for high refresh rates. But that's not all. The Razer phone will have thick side bezels that have these really big speakers, stereo speakers, and from what I hear, they are pretty powerful. I also speculate, and the YouTuber Marquise Brenly brought this up, some may wonder how come the edges aren't the display is not an edge-to-edge screen like the iPhone 10 or the Samsung Galaxy S8. And it's probably not only to allow for bigger speakers, but also to give more of an ergonomic design so your hands can have something to hold on to. Because if you have an edge-to-edge display, your hands will go on the screen, your thumbs in particular. Whereas when you have something to hold on to, like these speakers, it's easier to play games so you're not accidentally tapping buttons or making your character move in all sorts of ways. And the speakers have Dolby Atmos audio, which is great, so they'll be really powerful, as I've just said. And continuing on an audio, you're going to notice that this phone does not have a headphone jack, so Razer is going in the direction of iPhone, unfortunately. But the USB-C port is actually THX-certified, which I've heard from cars that have THX speakers like Lincoln's that it is a really good, one of the best brands but to take advantage of the THX certified USB port, and the phone has a 24-bit DAC, digital to audio converter, you're either going to need USB-C headphones, or you're going to have to plug in headphones using the included USB-C to headphone jack adapter. Need I say, some people may argue, you know, USB-C, or if you come from the iPhone, Lightning is the future, which, technically speaking, yes, but at the same time, in the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, that is still, pretty much the standard. That's the one that most people still use, and it's still the one that most audiophiles in the industry tend to use. At least in my case, I did try to go over to using things like Bluetooth and Lightning, but I just found that using 3.5 millimeter headphones were more, it was just more cost effective, since you can get pretty good headphones from brands like Panasonic for like $10 and $30. So yeah, it just sucks that there will be no headphone jack, and you'll just have to use the USB-C to headphone jack adapter. But continuing on the specs, aside from that, there is still good news in other areas of the Razer phone. So it will use a 2.4 gigahertz Snapdragon 835 processor. The 835 is the similar kind that's used in the Samsung Galaxy S8, so it's a good modern processor. If Razer wanted to, if they could have waited for CES, we probably would have gotten a newer Snapdragon processor, but for the time being, I'm sure the 835 is still plenty powerful. And it will have 8 gigabytes of RAM. That's among the largest storage of RAM you can get in a smartphone these days. 64 gigabytes of storage, respectable, but you can add more storage using the included micro SD card slot. The phone will have, the phone uses its metal frame as a heatsink, so Razer says this will allow you to play games at the highest quality for the longest time. And the Razer phone, you can also fine-tune experiences using the Razer Game Booster app. So yeah, the phone itself will have an 8mm thin aluminum body. Some may point out that 8mm, that's not as thin as something like the current iPhones, but it's still pretty respectable. It will come with Android Nougat 7.1.1, unfortunately, but Razer says that the phone will receive the Android Oreo upgrade sometime in spring 2018. Need I mention this is one of the downsides of Android, whereas with iOS, pretty much everybody gets the update on the same day. With Android, because of carriers and OEMs, we have to wait for updates. So yeah, hopefully Razer will come out with security updates in the time being. And yeah, something else that may bum some people out is that the Razer phone is only going to be GSM only, so that means if you're an AT&T or T-Mobile or TracFone customer, you can put in a SIM card from one of those carriers into this phone. If you're coming from Sprint or Verizon, on the other hand, you're shit out of luck. So unfortunately, CDMA carriers, you're not going to be able, or CDMA users will not be able to put their SIM cards into this phone because it just won't work. In terms of a launcher, the Razer phone will actually include the very popular Nova Launcher Prime with Google Assistant integration. So the good news there is that Razer is not going to flood this phone with their own crazy user interface or a ton of their own bloatware. I guess that's the perks of going with I don't know if I should use the word smaller, but Razer isn't as big a brand as something like a Samsung and LG, so they don't feel the need to overly fill your smartphone with bloatware or their own user interface. So I guess that's kind of the perks of going with a brand like Razer, where they're much more consumer oriented rather than profit driven. And And another plus on this phone is that it will include a 4,000 milliamp hour battery with Qualcomm's Quick Charge 4.0 technology. The phone will also have dual 12 megapixel cameras, one wide angle lens, and one telephoto lens. The phone will cost $700 in the US, $749.99 euros, and $699.99 in pounds, and the phone will be available on November 7th. So the Razer phone as a phone, it sounds pretty impressive. Like, it's got a modern processor, a really fast modern processor, a really cool screen, and on the gaming side, it's very capable as well. So as a phone, the Razer phone sounds pretty cool. On the gaming end, however, I kind of wonder how many people are actually going to buy this phone, especially because in the game space, people are divided as PC gamers, console gamers, and mobile phone gamers. And in this and video game enthusiasts, including myself, we tend to look at mobile phone gamers as kind of more casual gamers. Not that everybody that plays mobile phone games is a noob and just uses their phone for Facebook or homework, but you know, the mobile game landscape isn't really known for lots of like hardcore gamers, or I don't mean to, make it sound like, every, hardcore gamer is a yo bro person. Like, I'm a guy who likes to play his Nintendo Switch, and I'm looking at this thinking, is there gonna be much to offer? I mean, there's definitely a list of really include games meant for more enthusiastic gamers, games like Final Fantasy 15, Tekken, Titanfall Assault, games meant for more serious gamers, but at the same time, I'm honestly not really sure. I even looked at a Google survey to see that kind of tells us how many video game players, I'll use the more politically correct term, are like hardcore gamers, enthusiast gamers, and then more casual gamers. And in that survey, it said that 16% of the people surveyed, there was 22,000 people, considered themselves connected enthusiasts. So I'm not really sure on that end. I also tried looking up sales on the NVIDIA Shield line of products. That's basically NVIDIA's line of powerful tablets, their Shield set-top box, and the Shield portable, but I couldn't find anything. So if you're into video games, probably much more than I am. Like, if you're into like PC games, the Call of Duties and the Battlefields, or even like the Tekkens or Final Fantasy, are you gonna pick up a Shield? Are you gonna pick up the Razer phone? Because I would like to know. I don't want to end this video saying, oh, nobody's gonna buy it. I couldn't really find any super conclusive evidence. So if you're gonna pick this up, please let me know, because the Razer phone, on paper, it sounds impressive, but honestly, I'm not really sure who is going to buy it. So, alright guys, so that is the Razer phone. This has been Blood Moon Bobby, and thanks for watching. Hey guys, this has been a Blood Moon Bobby video. Please like this video or dislike it, and please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.